Hello, my wonderful friends. So good to have you back. Today I'm going to do a little show and tell for you. I've had a request to have a look at some of the things I picked up recently that were full of mouse poo and mouse pee. If you haven't seen the previous videos, then you'll have no idea what I'm talking about, but stay with me because, oh my gosh, so excited by some of these goodies. But before I get to that, I'm going to deal with the stuff that's not kind of icky contaminated. So I'll do the things that are good first, and then I will pause the camera, set out a cloth so that I don't contaminate my desktop with anything yucky, and show you some of the goodies because they are worth seeing. So first off, this is just a little thing. I don't know how old it is, probably not super old. It's a little bit of handwritten note, and it's written in a cursive in pencil on some kind of lined exercise book paper maybe. The story behind this, it's actually titled Story of Dairy Industry, is when we were visiting my husband's parents, she brought out her birthday book, which belonged to, now I can't remember whether it was her mother or her grandmother. So it dated, we couldn't find an exact date, but probably around the turn of the century, 20th century, so early 1900s is what we estimate. And it's full of whoever as it was, whether it was my mother-in-law's mother or her grandmother. It had young handwriting right through to old handwriting and fountain pen and pencil and beautiful cursive writing. So we were looking through that, and this little bit of paper was tucked inside it. And so she gave it to me because it doesn't really mean anything. But I love it. I think it's so super cute. It's just a piece of somebody's handwriting in pencil. Fun. So I just thought I'd share that. Maybe I should show you up close because it is pencil, so it might not be. Hopefully that's focused. I have no idea. I can't tell whether it's focused. So my apologies if that just didn't focus for you. But super cute. Now, on to the next thing. This arrived yesterday. So, to Laurel, sweetheart, you have totally spoilt me. Laurel is one of my patrons. She lives here in New Zealand as well. And she sent me this box of bits and pieces. I knew she was sending me something. I didn't know what. So I had been talking recently about how I was getting low on glue sticks. And honestly, it wasn't a hint that I wanted somebody to send me glue sticks. It was just like I would forget in between videos, and then I'd sit down to do a video and it's like, oh, I'm getting low. So I mentioned it a few times. So I need to be careful what I say because I've just got my address covered up here. The sweet Laurel, I have opened this. I opened it yesterday. Sent me glue stick. But not just one glue stick. She sent me bundles of glue sticks. Like, can you see all that? There's 9 glue sticks. I think I'm going to be good for quite a while. So there's 9 glue sticks. I haven't used this glue stick before, so I'm really keen to see what it's like. And like just 9 glue sticks, like that's incredible. Thank you so much, Laurel. But it doesn't stop there. There's also chocolate. Like, yum. I haven't had this one, so that's going to be super yum. I'll share it with my hubby. And then other bits and pieces. So some beautiful little fabric ruffles here. It's a butterfly one. There's a floral one. There's another floral one here. And there's a Winnie the Pooh and Piglet one, which I've already stuck in my personal journal to mark the arrival of this box of goodies. And then there's this. Now, Laurel, you might need to fill me in about this. I'm guessing it's napkin stuck on plastic somehow. I'm guessing. I don't actually know, but it's so pretty. And there's this lovely one. I'll just pop it aside so I can get. There's this one. The lovely roses. It looks like napkin border here. I think that's what it is, but I'm just not sure what it's stuck onto, what sort of plastic. And there's another one somewhere. Another one or two? Two. I thought there was three, but there's actually four. And they're very pretty, and I've never seen this before. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? All those flowers in the farmhouse. And then this one, which looks like sort of French style cafe. Super pretty. Really, really lovely. And a really cool idea. So I'm going to have a think about how I want to use those. And then she sent me a few aerograms. There's another one in there somewhere that's folded. These interesting gold bits of really thick card. They are really cool. Again, like, going to have to think about what I do with these. They are so pretty, very shiny and gorgeous and fun. Then some mini playing cards that are all decorated up. I feel totally spoiled. Is that one? Ah, that one's got a little flip out writing space. How fun. I did not notice that. That one's got writing space, and then this one has just got the card back. Aren't they so cute? Just adorable. It's a little mini tag with mushrooms and a butterfly and the word explore. So lovely. And this cool design of playing card. And then this cool, I don't know what that's from. It says playlearn.co.nz. I'm not sure what that's about, but really nice floral graphic there of some flax. This cool kiwi card. I just love that, from the game Snap. Super cute. Love that. And then this card here, playing card. It's Queen of Clubs with a dinosaur on it. That's super fun. I have never seen any of these before. It's like so cool. And then this playing card with Merry Christmas 2017. I'm not sure if that's all the cards or not. We may come across more. Then there's this beautiful tag with some fabric and covered in fabric on the back, which is just stunning. Just beautiful. That might have to go into the journal I'm making for the Junk Journal Studio as part of my design team, because the floral, I'm going floral themed for it, and I think that would look really pretty in that journal. This is a cool paper bag that's all been decorated up and opens out, so you've got journaling space in the middle there, as well as the the big pocket. So that would really do well, either tucked into a belly band or something, or put in as into a signature. You could go either way with that. So many fun bits. And then this lovely card here, again, beautiful florals. And then this journal card, isn't that pretty? That is so gorgeous. Love that. I have picked out a few bits, so like a ruffle and a wee tag, and popped them straight into my journal. It's an envelope decorated with fabric again. Just great idea. Very effective. And here's a matching journal card with that same fabric that would fit in that envelope. Here's another aerogram. I did have a look at that one yesterday just to make sure there was nothing tucked inside. Then we've got a book page envelope, super fun. And then some really cool cards. This is a postcard. Yes, postcard. Love that. I love the colours. So pretty. And Christmas card. Very Victorian in nature, just gorgeous, really pretty. And it hasn't been used, so it's a brand new one. Does it say a year? No, it doesn't say a year. Then this is another postcard. Sorry, I'm making a bit of noise on the box, aren't I? A marine one with the seahorses. Really lovely. And I think that's called a leafy dragon. Or a leaf dragon, something like that. Another sea creature. And then some like flashcard type bits. Very cool. Really nice spaces for journal cards, that sort of thing. Or just as fun ephemera. And then this lovely piece. I think it goes that way. Yep, that way. Just really pretty. Again, could easily go in a signature. Some absolutely stunning wallpaper. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Super pretty. And it's been done up into like a little folio with a pocket here, and then you could turn this into a pocket. Looks like it's been used as a pinboard or something, but that's no worries, can deal with that. Just gorgeous. I love it, and it's quite a big piece and quite thick. And last but not least is this cool sheet music being made into this big like paper bag or envelope, sack, whatever you want to call it. Love it. Just awesome. So many good ideas, so much to play with. Laurel, you have spoilt me, my dear. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and the top and the sides. I just am incredibly blessed to have such wonderful subscribers as all you guys. You make this job fun. You really do. And believe me, it is a job. I'm back to working 12-hour days now. I was thinking about it before, and it was like, yeah, I'm back. Let's see, actually longer than 12. I'm going 6:30 through to 9:30. So 6:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. So that's like, I don't know, 15-hour days. I'm doing long days. So yeah, it's very much a job. And you guys just make it just so worthwhile. So that is my box of goodies from the Sweet Laurel. I've been so blessed lately from a number of you, and I just can't thank you all enough just for being here, for watching, for being so generous with your time and watching and then commenting and all that sort of stuff. And then the unnecessary but super sweet gifts like this, just incredible. So thank you one and all. Right, now let's get on to the stuff that I picked up at the weekend. So originally all I was going to pick up was a banana box full of crafting type magazines that had been given to this lady by someone on Facebook, and I'd missed out. I'd seen the post too late. So I messaged her and says, when you've been through it, if there's anything you don't want, would you mind passing it on to me? And she says, yep, fine. So fast forward probably 4 or 5 months, and I'd forgotten about it. I thought, along the way I thought, oh, she's probably just forgotten or has kept everything or passed it to a friend of hers or something. Just wasn't worried about it. But out of the blue on Saturday, she contacted me and says, oh, remember those magazines? Do you still want them? And I was like, yes, please. So first off, I'm going to go through that box. I'm not going to show you everything. I've left most of the box over the far side of the room and just picked out a few of the kind of more interesting bits, because a lot of the magazines are modern. So like 2000s and later. But there are a number of things that are older. There's probably a good 20 or 30 of these knitting patterns. This is probably one of the older ones. It's held together with some really cool old sellotape there. It's a bit damaged. A lot of them are pretty pristine, like this one. I'm guessing they're anything from like the 60s, maybe the 50s, I'm not sure, but certainly 60s through to the 2000s. So quite a number of those. There was also a lot of these magazine pages torn out of like women's weeklies and things. They appear to all be from the 80s. Like this could have been me, apart from the teeth. My teeth didn't look like that, but that could have been me, except I had longer hair. In the 80s, like, just I love the paper and some of the ads in there, and just like the text, the color of the paper, the knitting pattern. It's going to be good for collage. These ads be fun in like Marguerite Miller challenge, possibly, like that monkey, knitted monkey. Super fun. So this is just a small selection. All these lovely old-fashioned ladies now. They're quite fun to look at. Then there were some booklets like this one. This is 1974. Again, it's got really cool old ads. The paper itself looks aged, you know, because it's really low quality, so it ages quite quickly. Mind you, the 70s is a long time ago now. When this came out, I was 3. So fun, just fun. Like fun bits in there. And then this one, which is the most exciting thing out of this box from my point of view, is an Enid Gilchrist. It's called Undies, Beach and Sleepwear, and it's sewing patterns for the ages of 7 months to 7 years. I hadn't seen one of these before from Enid Gilchrist, but apparently she's well known in the sewing circles, because I looked it up. But look at the images and the patterns. Like, they are so good. They are wonderful. So you can actually pick this up on Etsy, I noticed, for $12. I'm not sure what currency that was in, whether it was US or New Zealand. But just fabulous. Like the patterns and super cute little illustrations of the clothing. And the text as well. It's not old enough to scan. It's only 1960s. Which is fairly old now, but not old enough for me to reproduce because it is still in copyright. But I don't know whether I can actually rip it up or not. I shall have to hoard it for a little bit. Like, look at these beautiful diagrams. This sweet wee dress. Just absolutely gorgeous. I'm in love with it. It's so, so good. Oh, just adorable. And then these sweet little black and white photos of children as well. Just absolutely, just love this. So for me, this was the find of that banana box with of magazines and stuff. So now we need to get on to the other banana box, which was the bonus. So when I said yes please to the craft magazines, she said her neighbour had a box of 1950s women's weeklies, New Zealand women's weeklies, that she would prefer would go to somebody who could use them rather than go to recycling. And she said, would you like them? And I was like, oh, yes, please. Yes, please. My apologies if you've heard this story. I've told bits of this story. So we arranged to pick them up on Sunday. And then she messaged me again, says, just in case no one's around, we'll leave the 2 boxes in the doorway of this shed, and gave me the address of the shed. And if there's no one around, just pick them up and all good. So we picked it up, and 2 big banana boxes. I was expecting a banana box and then a smaller box of the 1950s magazines. Wow, it was 2 full banana boxes. Half of one box has gone out today in the rubbish because it was contaminated and it wasn't special. It was just like modern white paper that was, you know, had poop and pee from mice on it, that sort of stuff. But now I'm going to pop you on pause. I'm going to protect my desk with an old towel so that I can bring over some of the lovelies and show you. So I'll be right back. I tried to narrow down what I was grabbing out and just grabbing out one example of different things, but I still ended up with a lot. So let's crack on before this video turns into 3 hours long. First up is this bag unopened, so hopefully everything inside is still pristine, of these cute napkins with a sheep and a lamb. Just like the outside's grubby, but hopefully the inside is fine. Like, just fun. Like, there's probably, I don't know, 25 or so in there. Super. Like, unexpected find. There's this medal, which there's 3 of them. The other 2 are more recent. I haven't been able to date this one. There's no date, there's no name, there's no details. And we didn't even know what it was for. And apparently it's a big deal in the farming community. it's based on proficiency and excellency in working dogs, so sheep dogs, you know, running dogs to control sheep and cattle, that sort of thing. And they get points over a series of events. And there were 3 of them in the box, and they're really heavy, like super heavy. Can you see that? So I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but they are really cool, and they're metal, like heavy metal. Super cool. So they definitely will not be thrown out. I'm surprised that the lady didn't want them, because they were part of her family. I believe either her husband or possibly her father. Right, now let's get into the paper stuff. Oh my gosh, where to start? Start at the top, I guess. This. So the cover is detached. It's from 1924. It's called the Scottish Farmer Album for 1924. So it's not out of copyright until next year, which isn't all that far away. And it's full of advertisements of, look at this text. Oops, I hope you can't hear my stomach gurgling. It's just awesome. And, you know, old photos of various stock and horses, and like, look at these beautiful, beautiful illustrations. Absolutely stunning. And then in the middle, it's got a kind of a summary of the year's events, I think for 1923. So it was published in 1924, but a lot of it's about like the previous year. So it's kind of a world yearbook. Well, it says world yearbook. So it's a different type of paper. Again, interesting text, interesting colour. And then at the back we have more photographs. I'm trying to remember because it's, you know, a few days. And then more ads. Just gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to next year sometime when I can get into scanning some of these bits and play with them and see what I can produce digitally for them. Just like, that is so old now, like it's almost 100 years old. It's, you know, not too bad a condition considering, like it's got a little bit of bird poo there, and the cover's off obviously, but considering its age and then it's been stored in a wool shed, it's actually not too bad. Right, next up, no particular order, I'm just going from the top, is this Commercial Diary for 1919. So it's got this really funny doodle of a lady on the cover in what looks to be fountain pen. Very funny. And then it's got all the lovely writing, and it's a diary for 1919. Oh, I did not see that. That's a bonus. Insurance coupon. That's fun. And a calendar for 1920. I haven't had a good look at everything, so I'm bound to come across some surprises as I show you guys. And then I'm sure there's more that I have not yet seen. So just all sorts of the farmer's notes on what was going on for the day. At Caratu, middle block. I'm not making an effort to read every word. Left my saddle at Tuck's to get fixed. Went Horsley Downs Church and had dinner at somewhere. Dinner and tea at Father's. Oh, isn't that sweet? He went and had a meal with his father. I was working about place and also something up grass seed, mixing up grass seed. Just everyday notations. Like, look at that beautiful writing and the gorgeous old paper. Oh, there's another cool bit in there. Statement of Assets and Liabilities as at 31st March 1919. Beautiful old form that hasn't been written on. Treasures. So many treasures. Oh, we've got some pencil. Let's see if we can do a quick flick and see if we can find, oh, an obituary. Well, that's not that happy, but it's got a rusted, weird, interesting pin at the top there. It's got a coil on top. So, yeah, some things aren't so happy. But piece of history. So that's 1919. One of the older pieces in the box. Again, in, you know, quite poor condition. I do have the back pages in the box still. Right. Okay, this one. This is a more modern one. See, I'm getting bits of yucky stuff still coming off. 1952 diary, New Zealand Farmer's Diary. Oh, look at that. See, that's a bit of wool from the wool shed. And there's a bit of mouse poo in there. You don't really want to see that, do you? I need to thoroughly go through everything. Another obituary. Wow. Beautiful handwriting. This is gorgeous paper. It's quite yellow. So again with fountain pen writing, different format, just all sorts of interestingness. An old pin there, just kind of a regular pin, but it's all rusted, and some annual report and balance sheet. That's what that is. And then there's something else pinned in here. Interesting. I guess they didn't have paper clips. I guess they were more modern, maybe, paper clips. That's another pin. Catalogue for the AMP show. There's all sorts of bits in here. Newspaper clipping. Anniversary banquet with a certificate. I remember looking at this because my husband was looking at it as well. Little autograph space with no autographs in it. And then there's a couple of ribbons here. It's 1930 and a little badge from 1952. And it looks like there used to be another badge here which has gone AWOL somewhere. And then we're getting not so many entries, and then doesn't look like, oh, there's a few at the back. Quite a few blank pages. Some more ads and bits and pieces. So I'm going to have to give my hands a good clean again after this, because as you can tell, there's yucky stuff still. Right, on to the next thing. I'm trying not to take forever to do this. Yeah, more mouse chewings. Little monsters. So this is 1930, another farm diary. I'm blown away. I've never had anything like this in my life, and to get so many of them. So some really cool ads. There's a fountain pen. That's a really nice graphic there of the fountain pen. To get so many of these all at once, map of New Zealand, is just so exciting. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I was. Oh, that's sad. There's a tiny wee pin here, which is not the sad bit. Tiny little metal pin here that's all rusted. But it records the passing of a racehorse. There's a ripped out page there. I wonder what was on that. There's some receipts tucked in there. All sorts of fun tear off bits. Some ink stains, which are fun. Some ads. Oh, I'm just filled with joy again at looking through these. So much goodness. This is wonderful. It's a beautiful old photograph. We estimate that it's probably around the 1900s, early 1900s, given the style. It's a beautiful photo of these two gentlemen. Their names are written in pencil on the back, which is nice. Bit of bird poo on the back. Bit of water staining and splodges and stuff. But just a gorgeous, gorgeous old photograph. It's got a little bit of damage here and there. But it's authentic, like it's real. And it's old. It is old. Hopefully you could see that well enough. I haven't been sort of lifting things up to the camera for you. This piece here is just, I found really interesting. It's not super old, like it's got modern phone numbers on the front. But it's a book of wool specification forms. So, you know, as junk journalists, we like a good old form, don't we? To decorate up, put in a journal as a bit of ephemera. And I didn't have anything like this, and I'm betting a lot of people don't. So I just find that fun. Lots of fun. And because it's not as old, it's not so damaged or smelly as what some of the older things are. Okay. We're still going here, people, and I'm trying to leave the very last thing to last. Does that make sense? The most exciting bit to last. So here we have a parts list for shearing gear. I don't know, is that exciting? I think what's exciting about this is the age of it. I'm not actually sure of the age, but it doesn't look new, that's for sure. It doesn't look new. I haven't researched it, but it's got all sorts of diagrams and numbers and information on various parts of shearing equipment. So very narrow field of interest, but look at these diagrams. Just like, you know, and there's cool tabs. It's just interesting. I think it's interesting. What do you think? Do you think it's interesting? Or do you think it's like, oh, that's pretty boring. It's just like shearing equipment. This cool little old truck down the bottom here. This is obviously photocopied, so, you know, we are talking more modern, maybe 70s or 80s. But still, there's something endearing about it. And the cover, like, is tatty, it's torn. It's just got a feeling of being old, and it probably lived in the shearing shed, is my guess. Which could account for why it looks so old. Okay, this 1931, again a farming diary, and this one has all sorts of letters and receipts and forms and bits and pieces tucked into the front. Fire policy. This one's torn, but it's from a refrigerating company, and there's a few of these receipts in the green. And this is, what's this? A receipt. It's in pounds, shillings and pence from 1930. Some newspaper clippings. Various bits and pieces in there. The New Zealand Scotsman is about an organ, as in a musical organ. It's an old typewriter bit. Annual charge for telephone maintenance, 1931. Total due, £1. If only it cost that these days, hey? Sadly, it doesn't. And then this receipt from an auction house. Certificate of registration. Like, I've never had any of these authentic bits of ephemera before. Another one from Refrigeration Company. And then another one of these green ones. And that's just in the front. And then we have like this old, I have looked at what's inside, with an old stamp. You know, it's been written all over the back of. More of this gorgeous handwriting. And tables and bits and pieces in the front. And there is another envelope somewhere in here. There were two. more clippings. Pinned. Yep, pinned in the back with a rusty pin. Can I find the other envelope? No, looks like... Oh, what's that? Another little tear off receipt, side of a receipt. Another newspaper clipping. Carbonate of lime. I wonder if that's what it was ripped out for. I'm guessing it is because the other side it's not complete. So I guess that's something to do with farming. So beautiful, beautiful writing. And I love the writing. It's the writing that gets me. I love it. Okay, next one is diary. This is actually the first piece I pulled out of the box. And this is what had me just incredibly happy as soon as I saw this one. And it's not even the old one, but it's the first one I've ever had in my possession of an old diary. Look at those pens. They're beautiful. Scribbles everywhere. Notations. Fountain pen writing. Little notes tucked here and there. And there's quite a few blank pages in this one, but then there's the odd kind of like pencil or pages just randomly filled out. So I don't know, maybe they were on holiday on the blank pages or too busy to write notes about what was going on. Some fun ink splodges from the fountain pen and where it's got smudged with water or a hand or something. Just all sorts of beautifulness. Just gorgeous. So that's that one. So all sorts of date ranges here. Okay, now we come to this one, which is from 1910. Is this the same, or is this from something else? I think this is actually from something else. Oh, it's got all sorts of bits in there. Be careful I don't tip that all over myself. So this, well, this is 1910 as well. It's just, okay. It's got different types of paper in it. So this has got, see the damage. This has got some white paper. Very white for 1910, isn't it? Very, very white. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous illustration there. So Rough Diary, it's called, number 4 from 1910. And it's got pink pages in it. Like a blotting page, I guess. To blot up the... Look at this writing. Some of the pages are torn out. And then, this is the one that's got the other envelopes in. So we've got 2 more bits there. And some more receipts. And another little letter. Just beautiful. A receipt. Yeah, receipt from Black's Chaff Cutter. And some more envelopes here. Just gorgeous. Has that got a date on it? No. Yeah, it's from 1910. I can just make out the 10. Cool old stamp. Just, oh my gosh. Treasures. Treasures. I'm so excited. It's just the handling of it that has me a bit, you know, because it has got that yucky stuff, and this, like this, is falling apart. It's crumbling with handling. It did used to have fabric around the spine. Oops, that's got a bit of mouse poo. Yuck. Let's try and... I need a tissue. Let's grab that with a tissue and get it off there. Okay. So, yes. It's not my most fun part is all the gross stuff. But it is so worth it. Okay, so we've got 2 pieces left to look at. I hope you're hanging in there, my friends. This is in very sad condition. It's from 1918, and it's New Zealand Returned Soldiers magazine called Quick March. So this is the title page, which you can see has been well chewed by the little miceys and well peed on. And it's not fresh smelling in terms of mouse pee, but it does still have an aroma, most certainly. But again, we've got awesome ads and text. And there's the corner of the cover, a bit that's survived. Lots of writing, you know, which is fine, but not as interesting as the ads, I find. I love the ads. The graphics are cool. I haven't read it, so I don't know, you know, if it is actually interesting or not. Petone bathing costumes. Super cute. Like, just fun bits of history. So, yes, to go through everything page by page, it's going to take quite some time. Oh, look at this illustration there of that gentleman with the dog. That is super, super cool. There's a cartoon in the corner there. Just some photos of some military men. Some pages that are detached. Psychology and sausages. Okay, interesting. Just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, look at that. An ad with this lovely, lovely graphic. I mean, this would have been great when I was creating my Plaid Gentleman kit. It's old enough, I could have scanned it, no problem, used things like this in the kit. So maybe there's a second one to come. Maybe I need to actually do a second masculine-based kit. Beer ads. Oh, that's so cool. There's a sliced bread. That's so fun. So that one is in very, very poor condition, which is only really matched by this very last one that I'm going to show you. Which weighs up first, this way up. This is actually the back of it. It's been chewed by the mice through several layers, particularly up in this corner. If you can see, like you can see it's all shredded by mice. It's been peed on here. It's got this big area here that's been damaged, and that actually goes all the way through. So I think this was like the main nesting area for the mice, and it's one of the oldest pieces, or the oldest piece. It's dated 1907. So it's probably been sat somewhere where the mouse have just settled into a nest and had a field day nice and cozy. So I'm going to work from this, which is the back, to the other way, just because I'm just got to unfill the pages here so I can turn them over. It is the New Zealand Farmers Stock and Station Journal. That's what it is. So I'm not going to go through every page. Some of them are actually glued together with that mouse pee, and it's stapled so it doesn't fold nicely. So I'm just being very gingerly, very careful with it, so I don't damage it any more than I need to at this point. Lovely ads, just absolutely stunning. You know, there's some debris in it that I need to clear. So all this damage, particularly on this area of mouse pee, means it's something I'm unlikely to use the original of, because like I wouldn't want to put that in anyone's journal, not even my own. But I can scan it, and that staining is just going to add some unique and authentic aging. At the end of the day, that's real. And once it's scanned, it's no longer going to be icky. The scan, you know, the reproduction of it won't be icky. Big cartoon piece here. So that's my plan with this, is there might be areas down the bottom that I can use the original of, if I decide to. It's hard. I find it very hard to use the original because I don't imagine there's terribly many of them around, but it is very badly damaged. And I just love the colour. Can you see the colour of this? Look at that. It's like it goes from blue to purple to pink, and then there's like a yellow, browny yellow around the outside. Do I want to actually keep that grossness in my house forever and a day? Probably not. So I'm thinking I might have to just bite the bullet and scan what I can and tear out like some of these images, because there's vast amounts of it that are perfectly fine. They haven't been touched by and large. Just great ads, great ads. And I feel like this video is quite long because I'm starting to get a wee bit dry and a wee bit of a sore throat. So all this lovely old text from 1907, all the wonderful old ads and the fonts and the graphics. You know, I'm not going through, like I said, I'm not going through every page. There's bee images there. That's pretty cool. They might have to go in my bee journal that I want to do. Goodness knows when I'll do the bee journal. This image, I saw this image at the weekend. Absolutely love it. It's a rock melon. I didn't know we had rock melons in New Zealand back in 1907. I would have hazarded that we didn't, but there we go. Evidence we did. There's this really cool ad over here, which you probably can't see. Let's try and bend it so you can see, of steam engines. Now it has been like double printed. It's got a shadow, but it's still really cool. Just wonderful bits and pieces. Calf milk, a plough, these lovely ladies using a whatever it is, some sort of milk machine, maybe for churning butter or something, or separating milk from cream. I don't actually know. Well, it says separator, so I'm guessing it's separating the milk from the cream after they've milked the cows. And then these front pages are torn, as well as contaminated with mouse goings-ons and a bit of bird poo as well, just to add, you know, that extra little subtle flavour in the mix. Hey, you got to make the best of things, don't you? And if humour does it, well, then humour. So this towel, which is really old and grotty and threadbare, but was clean, now has to go back in the wash because, or maybe I'll just keep it for when I actually deal with this stuff, because I certainly will want to keep it on something to contain the grime. So there we go, my friends. That is an overview of the stuff that I got at the weekend, and from the lovely Laurel and from my mother-in-law, the tiny little scrap of paper that makes me ridiculously happy. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you stuck through the whole video. I haven't looked at the time, but I suspect it's been a while. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with a regular crafting video. Until then, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.